Hey guys, welcome back to Yanya Caballista. Again, I'm Acidic, and with me is Blank Tester. And one person I forgot to mention till now, there actually is a recorded playthrough of this up on YouTube by a guy named Capitalist.
Yeah, Capitalist, my boy.
You know, I used his videos and kind of his paths on some of the harder levels.
Wow, you sell out.
What?
You using other people's stuff?
Yeah. I'm someone who kind of,
Cheater!
Gets a routine, this is still my footage. I still had to suffer through this.
Cheater!
Fine. But
that is the same island from Sonic Adventure 2.
You helped me out a lot. So yeah, now
Capitalist, you're our bro.
We're going to Prison Island, and so after 3 levels of, being pretty easy, ramping things up, alright, suddenly this is going to be like the biggest difficulty curve ever. It's not even a difficulty cliff, it actually kind of goes backwards as it goes up.
Wow.
You're like climbing a cliff where, that's even harder than straight vertical.
Wow.
But this level's...
You're basically climbing the inner wall of a cave.
Yeah.
Now you've reached the ceiling.
This level's new enemy is the Topper, Gawu. And the Topper is... basically, he's kind of like the hipster, sort of. He doesn't like the simple tricks. You gotta really impress him to send him away. And what that means is basically it's all or nothing. Either you hurt him enough to banish him, or you don't hurt him at all. In one trick.
So you can't whittle him away.
You cannot whittle him away, like the others. So,
I really wish it wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, so late in the jump. When I think that they're not gonna do it, it like waits until...
Yeah.
the very end to turn, whatever. So how's Bluebee?
Bluebee he's all speed, but no power or technique. And, we haven't really talked about the stats, except for when Max was too slow to actually do the last tricks in the bowl mode. Speed basically is how fast you are, I think how much height you get, and how quickly you do the tricks. Power is, I think, how much it has an effect on the Gawu. Okay. So, like, maybe someone with a lot of power can do, less tricks and have the same effect as, someone with higher speed who can do more tricks off a jump. And technique is... I honestly don't really know. Maybe
I think it's probably actually more like... Probably power is your ability to stay on the board if you, like, crash.
Really?
Yeah, I thought I saw something on a loading screen like that.
Huh.
But I'll see if I can figure it out from the book.
So
I can find where in the book.
I picked Bluebee for this, but honestly, maybe I should have probably done someone else, because, his thing is he's kind of fat and in the way, and I probably would have liked to see more of where I was going. This level's really hard for a few reasons. One, the Toppers show up, and, since this is kind of late in the game, actually, or late in career mode, they get pretty high level. You need to bust a lot of tricks suddenly. The layout of the enemies is really weird. There's a lot of distance between them. And just, I don't know. But basically, this level is a complete fucking shithole. And, as I mentioned, I had not been this mad at a video game in a long time. We didn't record my audio, but I was, like, straight up yelling in both, like, frustration and then joy.
Yeah, actually, in editing this video down, he used an audio cue, which was him screaming directly into the HDMI cord of the Elgato,
yeah.
Which somehow picked up. Yeah. That's how loud he was screaming. Oh, okay, there we go.
You might hear, like, interference and what sounds like me screaming, "Fuck you. Yeah. Fuck you, you fat motherfucker." But yeah, so this boss, I mean, by the end, the boss, it's going to come down to the last, like, 30 seconds, and that's going to be after 15 minutes, and if I fail to the boss, I have to restart the level. So that's 15 minutes down the fucking tubes.
Well, what it's like.
I passed it. But I'm never going to do it again. You know what it's like when Yeah.
I mean,
But as I mentioned, Bluebee was the guy I beat the ramp mode with. I beat the bowl mode with, because you don't need power or technique in those. That's all speed.
Surprisingly, you don't need technique when it's all tricking.
Yeah. Power and technique comes into effect beating the monsters, beating the Gawu.
Yeah.
So, like, I defeat the Gawu for the first, stage of this, and the entrances to the next stage are like across the level.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can honestly say, I feel like even though, like, you're going as fast as you possibly can with the Blue Beat.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's still moving slower than I expect the slowest character to go in this game.
But there, to answer one of your previous things, there I went out of the way purely to get coins to give me an extra minute. And literally, if I didn't get that extra minute right there, I wouldn't have passed. So...
See, my question was really like, does the game reward you at all for just tricking?
No.
Not at all.
Not at all. Actually, something I thought of after recording is that if you trick on the ground, you can increase and keep your combo meter up, which can help with some of the harder enemies. So, for level 5 or 6 guys, you need to spin and do a double flip. What? Sorry.
No, I wasn't speaking.
But...
The game actually, in the back of the manual, there's a little list of suggested tricks for taking guys out.
Yeah. So there's some
how to defeat the Galoo and hard stages.
There's some nuances, like I mentioned the early flips. If you start to spin and immediately do a flip, that'll be worth more points, and you'll see a white barrier go around. And then if you do a second flip immediately after finishing the first one, that'll be like perfectly synced up, and so you'll get more points there.
So is that guy a topper?
No,
he's just an ass.
These are just normal guys. They're level 8. But you saw with half pipes especially, that's where having to, pushing kind of being on a timer is annoying.
Yeah.
Because obviously to get the most air, you want to push at the exact right moment.
Right.
And so sometimes you have to wait a little bit. And you go really slow if you're not holding forward to push.
Yeah. I mean, you're just chugging
along.
Yeah, it seems like, I mean, this is an early PS2 game, but there were PS1 games that kind of got the idea behind how to make this. This seems like skateboarding is just coincidental to, it could have been anything that they would have used. It's not an extreme sports game that happens to have this gimmick. It's really like a gimmick game that happens to have things to do with skateboarding.
Yeah.
I mean, this could have been a game about, I don't know, origami.
Yeah.
And you walk up to these Galoo and then do crazy origami, and then, or hacky sack, and then, or crash on your face.
Why did I crash? Because, I don't know. Yeah, for a game where you're always going to spin, like, a variance of 360 degrees, it makes no sense why sometimes you just crash on the fucking ground.
Yeah.
If you've stopped your spin way ahead of time. So, up here, there's toppers, like, on these half pipes, and you have to do so many tricks, you probably don't think you're going to land, and then you magically land.
Yeah. And then when you think you are gonna land,
you fucking crash.
Wow, I didn't think you were gonna land that. I couldn't even read that trick.
Like, this isn't my first time playing the level. This is after, like, 30 minutes of attempts, so...
Yeah, this ain't your first rodeo.
By this point, I kind of just knew that it looked like I wasn't going to land, but I was. One thing I haven't mentioned, but that's really because I don't know how much it has an effect on, is the combo meter up in the top left. Allegedly, if you get that meter up to be like, combo 5 or 6 or 7, your attacks have more power. But I feel like...
But you can't tell.
Even if I went up to that guy with a combo 7 meter and then did a simple or simpler trick, I don't think he'd have gone down. It's still, like, way more based off the trick you pull in front of them.
And that would be a great thing to mention in the manual. But the manual doesn't, again, do a great job explaining what things do or why. I actually saw something about the trick gauge in here. They have these Galoo diaries in here, and they're supposed to give you an idea of, like, both the mindset of the Galoo and how the different mechanics work. At the same time. And let me see if I can find it. There was one where...
While you look for that, can I mention something?
By all means.
So obviously with the colored guys, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You have to do their specific trick. But if you throw in other tricks with that, I think that still increases the power. Yeah, so for this flip guy, I did just a flip barely hurt him. I did one flip with a spin and took out like 80% of his health bar.
Yeah.
You'll need to flip, but if you still like spin and grab in there, that'll increase the power.
Yeah.
Alright, so there's one dude left in the level before the boss.
Uh-huh.
Except this guy is going to give you a ton of shit, because he's a topper. And I think he's like level 10.
Oh.
So you need to do the biggest fucking trick you can, except that
He's at the end of a long...
he's in a really weird place. I mean, it's not about like balancing on the thing. There's no balance meter or whatever. It's
Right.
that you basically like have to hold forward enough to get to him, except if you hold forward, that like cancels out any and all tricks you've been doing and can do. Like, you have to spin. Oh, I didn't get in its radius there.
Oh, so you could have gotten something there, but
I didn't get in its
you
radius.
didn't get in his radius, so now you have to go all the way back.
Like when you're spinning, you hold forward to stop spinning, and you can hold forward in the air and go further. So
The
holding
two controls conflict with each other.
yeah, and so holding forward, if you hold forward, you can't spin, you can't grab, because that's, you know, its own control.
Right.
So you have to think, like,
Stop holding forward.
stop holding forward,
Press all these buttons.
hit the
Start
spin,
holding forward.
hit the spin button, because again, you have to spin first and foremost. If you do anything else first, you can't spin at all. And this guy needs like a spin, triple flip grab to defeat him. So basically, I'm thinking like jump, hit the spin button, get in his line of sight, move out of the way. Oh, and see, I held forward to stop the spin, and this isn't gonna be, well, I also wasn't in his radius.
Yeah.
This guy's a piece of fucking shit. I mean, I had, what, like 6 minutes when I got to him, and,
I don't know if you had 6 minutes.
I mean,
I don't know how much you had.
I had at least like 300 seconds.
Yeah. And now we're just going back up
Now
there.
we're just killing time. I'm not even speeding it up. You guys need to feel how bullshit this was.
Yeah. Man, that's balls.
Yeah.
Let me read you this Gawu diary while we wait.
Okay.
Can you tell me if this explains the trick gauge to you? Because it doesn't explain it to me.
Yeah.
The humans got their final weapon, trick gauge. King Gawu has panicked. He's screaming and mumbling things like, "It's a Gawu eating monster. It's going to scream gauge, gauge. Is this the end of the Gawu kingdom? Oh boy, when I am reborn, I want to be a human. I'm going to skateboard everywhere, catching all the attention with the coolest tricks ever done. I will show off my awesome tricks to some cute girl and steal her heart." And then, ellipsis, and that's where it ends. That's it. That's the end of the diary entry. And then,
mean,
ellipsis.
I'm not saying the trick gauge does nothing, just...
And then there's a picture, and it says, as a caption, "Is this what a trick gauge does? It's sure causing major damage to our fellow Gawu." That's the closest they get to explaining the game mechanic.
Yeah.
And I still don't really know.
I mean, when they actually explain these things, it doesn't take a lot, you know? You see, you know, brief little explanations in the tutorial or whatever, and you pick up on what they are.
Did you need to take a break for this?
Yes, actually. I took a break, I went over to Capitalist's playthrough, and I saw the trick that he did to actually kill that guy.
The specific trick.
Yeah, I mean, you with the
We'll show footage.
with the toppers. Sometimes you can hit them hard enough to take off a bunch of their health, but not all. But don't rely on doing that, you know, because it's vague.
So during that little break there, I guess we're gonna
Because
either have
this was
dead air
after-
or we'll just put some like some B-roll
no,
footage.
we're talking over that.
Yeah, I know. Just
Right here.
Throw some old recaptured footage from World War II.
Yeah.
There. I'll give you some footage.
So
you can use.
I spun, but I held forward to clear the gap. And since I did that,
Rip.
I actually couldn't spin anymore. It just so
It gave
happened.
you 80 seconds, and you still have 190 seconds.
I have 3 minutes to beat this boss, which this boss is
Is
way
he-
harder than the 3 who came before him.
Is he a topper? He
No,
looks
I
tall,
don't think
so.
so. But I think just the bombs. No, he's not a
he's not a
topper.
topper, okay.
But like, just the bombs are way bigger. He
Yeah.
runs all around the place. And for some reason, I just got like I basically started choking, kind of a string of bad luck. Later in the fight,
That hit him and lost you time.
he probably hit me with a bomb at the last second.
Yeah.
Which the bombs now take off 20 seconds.
Yeah. Whoa. I guess you kicked that bomb away.
I kicked that bomb. But like, yeah, I was basically like standing up and shouting like, "All right, let's go, motherfucker!" You know, like
Yeah.
every time I got hit, I'd shout like, "Fuck, fuck!" And every time I took time off, I'm fully admitting this, I'd be like, "Yeah, yeah," you know, like I was actually getting really hyped for this because I wanted it to.
Yeah, actually, after he beat, was it this level? You called me
I called you.
and woke me up, and you sounded like you were like about to explode.
I guess this guy's part topper because that didn't hurt him enough. But yeah, I mean, my time. I'm kind of losing the time here.
Yeah,
He hit me with 2 bombs that took off, 40 seconds.
that's quite a lot of time, actually.
And
That didn't do
now,
much.
I guess maybe he becomes a topper once he's really lost a bunch of health.
What the hell?
Because
That doesn't take off like anything.
No, he talked to you, which... Yeah, I guess he becomes a topper once he loses, like, a bunch of health. But, yeah, I'm in the bottom 30 seconds now. And I remembered there's an extra time thingy over here. So I go and get that.
Wow. Good call.
Yeah. I would have needed it, I think. Otherwise, I'd have had, like, 1 shot to beat him.
Yeah. And you couldn't have gotten hit during that.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably still can't, but...
Another thing I noticed watching this back again is that I really started choking. At the start of the fight I was hitting him with spin double flips, and now I'm missing the spin or the flip or some part of it, but remember, in this stress, it's hard to remember the rhythm of everything.
Oh my god. He's exploding!
I don't know how that spin double flip hurt him while all the others didn't, but...
And then it just abruptly ends.
Yeah.
And you don't even have time to sit there on the loading screen, because the loading times were fantastic.
14 minutes, I got an A rank.
Okay, I don't know, I guess that's what they expect you to do, but you got 5 million points, so... Thanks, Blueby.
Yeah.
By the way, I like that on his belly, it says... Booby.
Yeah.
It doesn't say Blueby. Like, it legit, like...
Maybe that was like
Booby.
Maybe that was like a censoring thing. I don't know.
Yeah, but
or maybe a Japanese messed up like mistranslation or whatever.
yeah,
Or maybe that was just a stupid pun that the Americans threw in.
yeah. Oh, you know what? I bet this Japanese Brazilian thing for Grandma B
Yeah.
is for the baby. There's a baby on her back.
Yeah, yeah.
The baby's
maybe the
Brazilian.
baby's Brazilian.
So where the fuck did she get the baby?
It's her grandbaby. She's a grandma.
She's Grandma.
Yeah.
She's a legendary skater.
Yeah. She's been skating since World War II.
So are the rest of the levels as good as this one?
I mean, we've been through 3. Well, we've been through 4 now. And next up, we're coming up on the Ruins and Canal, which is...
Oh man, Ruins!
And Canal. 1 level. What?
Oh, it's just hoping Ruins. Ruins. It's New York
Ruins
City.
and Canal is kind of weird. It's really linear. You guys will see.
Post-apocalypse.
Yeah. See you then.